The concept of a new world order has been a topic of discussion for many years, with some believing it to be a satanic plot to control the world. One of the ways this alleged plot is being carried out is through the propaganda surrounding global warming. The idea is that the elite, who are supposedly behind this new world order, are using the fear of climate change to manipulate and oppress the masses. This theory suggests that the elite are using global warming as a tool to gain control over the world's resources, economies, and populations. They are allegedly spreading propaganda and misinformation about the severity of climate change in order to justify the implementation of policies that will give them more power and control. This could include things like carbon taxes, stricter regulations on industries, and even population control measures. One of the main ways this propaganda is being spread is through the media. News outlets and other media platforms are constantly reporting on the supposed dangers of climate change and the need for immediate action to prevent its worst effects. This can create a sense of panic and urgency, which can be used to justify the implementation of drastic measures to combat climate change. However, some argue that this is not a genuine attempt to protect the environment, but rather a ploy to gain more control over the population. Another way the elite are allegedly using global warming propaganda to oppress us is through education. Schools and universities are now teaching children and young adults about the dangers of climate change and the importance of sustainability. While this may seem like a positive thing, some argue that it is actually a form of indoctrination, designed to shape the minds of future generations and make them more susceptible to the elite's control. Furthermore, the alleged New World Order is also using global warming propaganda to justify the implementation of a one-world government. The idea is that the only way to effectively combat climate change is through global cooperation and the creation of a single, unified government that can make decisions for the entire world. This would give the elite even more power and control, and would be a major step towards the creation of a new world order. In addition, the propaganda surrounding global warming is also being used to justify the suppression of individual freedoms. For example, some governments are now proposing measures such as carbon taxes, which would force individuals and businesses to pay a tax on their carbon emissions. This could have a devastating impact on the economy and would give the government even more control over people's lives. It's also worth noting that many of the world's top leaders and organizations are now pushing for great reset in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, which includes a major focus on climate change and sustainability. This has led some to speculate that the pandemic is being used as a pretext to implement a new world order, with global warming propaganda playing a key role in the process. In conclusion, the idea that the Satanic New World Order is using global warming propaganda to oppress us is a complex and multifaceted theory. While it may seem like a conspiracy theory to some, it is clear that the elite are using the fear of climate change to manipulate and control the population. Whether or not this is part of a larger plot to create a new world order, it is clear that the propaganda surrounding global warming is having a profound impact on our world, and it is up to each individual to critically evaluate the information they are being given and to make their own decisions about what to believe. Ultimately, it is essential to approach this topic with a critical and nuanced perspective, recognizing that the issue of global warming is real, but also that it can be exploited and manipulated by those in power to further their own agendas. By being aware of these potential manipulations, we can work to create a more just and equitable world, where the needs of the many are prioritized over the interests of the few.